Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. I am so glad that you have found me. For my new viewers, for my subscribers, I'm very, very grateful. I really appreciate it. And so just, thank you from my heart. Okay. In honor of Father's Day, I thought that I might do a couple of readings on Trump's spawn to see, what's going on with them. Now, I will not read on Barron. He is too young, and it is an invasion of his privacy. For the same reason, unless something really dramatic happens, I also would not read on Eric or Tiffany. They did not choose to be in the public eye. And so for now, I'm just going to leave them out of it. I'm not saying I won't in the future. Certainly if they get really, really involved with, a re-election campaign or something, I'll do it. But for right now, I want to keep them out of it. So my question, I have a question, and it is, what do Ivanka and Jared actually think about Trump? What kind of a dad was he? Is he good to them? Is he not good to them? So let's just give the cards a couple more shuffles. And we're going to look at Ivanka and Jared as a unit. I'm not going to do individual ones. I'm looking at them as a couple. So let's just see what, the universe has to tell me. Okay, so I'll show you this one flipped out. So, it's the death card, people. Okay, let's cut the deck. So, Jared and Ivanka, Jared and Ivanka, and Jared and Ivanka. Okay, so the death card is very often indicative of a change, needing a change, wanting a change, or the fact that their life changed really dramatically when their dad was elected. I think that they in particular had been raised in a really sort of isolated and secluded environment where they were special, they were wonderful, they were best. And so they weren't actually expecting the kind of scrutiny that they fell under when Trump got elected. I think, in fact, they saw it only as an opportunity, as a commercial, not unlike what Trump did. They saw it as an opportunity to sell their brand, push their brand, promote their brand. They saw it really from a financial level and a financial level only. I know, I'm aware that there were some thoughts and ideas, statements made that, after Donald, they wanted to follow him into the White House, and, Ivanka wanted to be the first female president. God help you all. But this card is just indicating that, really, they weren't prepared for the change that came with. They thought that they could continue to go on their way, and because nobody had really, scrutinized them or been mean to them or, contradicted them, they thought that they could just carry on with that behavior because, let's face it, in some ways that's really all they've ever known. So that didn't work out so well. All right, these cards literally are a reflection of how they feel about Trump. They very much see him as the emperor, the king of the family, the guy who calls all the shots. And on some level, they really do understand that they are bit players. They are support staff, and that's all they are to his feelings of being, grander than grand. That's how they treat him, because that is frankly the only treatment that he'll accept, that he'll tolerate. If you don't do that, you don't sort of bow down to him and say, yes, you're right, of course you're right, this is, I completely agree with you. um, he retaliates just the way we have seen him do with world leaders, with other government officials. You know, it doesn't seem to matter. He just retaliates. Um, and they're not going to cause that to happen, or they're going to minimize the times or the frequency of it happening, because they are all about dynastic money. They are all about family money, family influence, the family name. How do we accumulate more and more and more? And so they see him literally as, you know, the ATM machine, right? I mean, he controls the purse strings. Make no mistake about it. I mean, you know, they may have their little separate businesses and whatever, but when it comes right down to it, what daddy says goes. And if daddy says, you know, yeah, I know, Ivanka, that you have a share in that Washington Trump hotel, and I know that this last year you made, you know, I think it was $4 million from her share. But honestly, if daddy said to her, and I want 2 million of it, she would hand it over, okay? He absolutely controls the purse strings. They see him very much as a trickster. They recognize that he has more nasty tricks up his sleeves. They recognize he is devious. They recognize he will stoop. You know, there's no low that he won't stoop to accomplish, you know, what he wants. To some degree, you know, what you grow up with is what you learn, right? And so, and Jared's father was like not any different. So Jared grew up in that same sort of environment. So for sure, to some degree, they actually mimic that behavior, because honestly, that's what they've known growing up. That was acceptable behavior within the family unit, and specifically when it came to business, accumulation of wealth, accumulation of prestige, keeping the brand strong. They're not innocent bystanders in this. But even saying that, they still, you know, they bow to his wishes. Oh my goodness. There is a great deal of regret for the life they have lost. In their heart of hearts, I don't think that they want Trump to run again. They want him out of the White House. They want the scrutiny to stop. They have lost so much freedom. To a large degree, they have lost significant personal wealth. And the whole thing for them just feels incredibly unstable. It feels like every time they turn around, there is another disaster that they have to defend themselves against. Whether it's, you know, the other day Trump making the announcement that of course he would accept foreign help from anybody. He doesn't care. To, you know, insulting the Queen of England, whatever it is, they're just exhausted. They're fatigued by his behavior. They recognize that he is becoming more and more erratic, but he is that person that you cannot talk to rationally. Everything you say to him that he perceives as a slight or an insult, he will push back on. And so they're very mindful to be very, very careful. And they're kind of juggling, right? Because they're trying to keep their own noses clean, or their own reputations relatively clean, but they're constantly battling him. They look back and they say, you know what? We had a good life before. We really did. And we were happy, and it was good. And he plowed in, he charged in where he had no business charging, because he wanted to. He thought it would be a great commercial. He wanted that to, he only ran for president because he wanted to, of course, increase his brand, right? He wanted to make the brand name even more known and more popular. That didn't quite work out for him. When it's all said and done, they will actually receive a little bit of good news. And I suspect that good news may simply be something like, you know, you're not going to be as charged with as much stuff as you probably think you're going to be charged with. I absolutely believe that there are sealed indictments, particularly against Jared. And so the good news may be that that legal news may not be as bad as they're fearing it is. They will not get off scot-free, however, make no mistake. So tell me, what do Jared and Ivanka actually think of Daddy Trump? Oy. They very much see him, he has the control of the dynasty. That's how they view themselves, and that's how he sees them. They recognize that he absolutely carries a big stick, and he'll hit you over the head with it. He doesn't care, blood or no blood. He does not care. And they recognize that, there is not a good way to extract themselves from this situation in their own way. They are absolutely addicted to the money, the prestige, the adoration, although I'm not sure who's adoring them, but somebody must be somewhere. They are addicted to that lifestyle. They are addicted to what it brings them. So even once they leave the White House environment, they are going to be trying very, very hard to recoup what they feel that they have lost as a result of this. Ivanka's probably going to end up relatively okay, because Daddy is always going to make sure she is taken care of, unless she does something so abhorrent to him that he just says, that's it, I'm done. So it looks like they don't like the man very much. They recognize he's a bully. They understand that he's not exactly sane right now. They recognize the mental decline in him. This is the thing, right? If you watch any videos, old videos of interviews that Trump did, his ideas, they really haven't evolved. Like, they haven't. The things he believed at 30 or the things he believed at 50 are the things he believes at 70. Whether it was, the Central Park 5 or immigration or, whatever it is, those beliefs really haven't changed that much. But they recognize the absolute mental deterioration. If you compare his behavior now to behaviors in the past, you can see the deterioration of his mental state, his ability to put thoughts together. And of course, the more stressed he becomes, the worse those thoughts don't fit together. They don't like him. Ivanka loves him the way a parent loves, or a child loves a parent, even if they don't actually like the parent that much. She's not clean and pure in this situation by any stretch. And for sure, she's aware to some degree that their behavior, what they do, is not going over well. It's hurting their reputation. But they are also not prepared to turn on him. He just has too much control and too much power on them. So let's look at Don Jr. Let's just see what we can see about Don Jr. in relationship to his dad, in relationship to, what he thinks about his dad, kind of what is likely to unfold for him. I actually think he's in a fair bit of legal jeopardy, but I also think that I think that there's sealed indictments against him, and I have said before in other readings, and my feelings on this has not changed. Whatever sealed indictments there are against any of the Trump inner circle, I really believe that those indictments are not going to be unsealed until after Trump leaves office, even if it's about Jared or Don Jr. or anything else. Because law enforcement, is smart enough to understand that if they try going after these people, Trump will become completely unhinged, and it's not worth it. They figure, we can wait another 18 months because that's all Trump has left, if that. And then we can, hit them when they basically don't have any protection. And so I think he's actually in a fair bit of trouble. So let's just see what the cards would like to tell us about Don Jr. Let's bring this down. There we go. Okay. Don Jr., Don Jr., Don Jr. You know, he is forever, this is Don Jr., he is forever trying to juggle his life to please daddy. It's like he gets up in the morning and he thinks, what do I have to do today and what should I not do today to keep dad happy, calm, and on my side? What a horrible way to, I mean, honestly, think about that for a second. Can you imagine? It really is like you get the feeling that it would be very, very similar to living in an abusive relationship. Well, of course, that's exactly what it is. But that sense of, okay, how do I stave off the attack? How do I prevent, you know, how do I prevent myself from doing something that they're going to say made them behave the way they're behaving, that causes them to lash out and retaliate? He is in a perpetual state of that. So mentally, it's fatiguing, it's exhausting, and you know, sometimes he says things that are just arrogantly stupid because his priority is not upsetting his father. Don Jr. is not a well-loved and respected member of the family, according to Trump. Trump doesn't have a lot of good things to say about him, but Jr. is just forever trying to, you know, hang on to that place in the family. Again, he also recognizes that daddy is king and ruler, and he recognizes that, you know, honestly, his money is on a purse string from daddy. Okay, so a lot of the things that he has just taken for granted his whole life, the luxuries, the perks of being, you know, Don Trump Jr. He doesn't want to lose them, okay? Like, he's not at all interested in having that go away on him. So he wants to do whatever he has to do to keep daddy happy. And frankly, he has, you know, he has a lot of kids. He has an ex-wife now, and, you know, he's got a girlfriend. He has a lot of expenses. He has a lot of images, impressions to keep up. He has to maintain a certain standard. Here, then there's the dynastic money again, and out in the cold. Okay, so what you have is a relationship between the two of them that is not strong. It is more like a business partnership where one partner feels that they're carrying the other. That's very much how daddy feels. Again, we have that dynastic money, and Don's biggest fear is being literally left out in the cold, kind of being banished from the family. There was a separation between him and Donald, if I remember correctly, a few years back, where he didn't talk to him for a period of time. He doesn't really want to go down that path again, so he's being very careful and cautious to kind of not antagonize him. Don Jr., is living in a state of illusion. He honestly does not understand that, you know, the way he sees things is actually not how things are. He, like his father to a lesser degree, sort of believes the stories that he spins in his own mind very often, as opposed to the actual reality of the situation. He feels that he is protected by daddy's name, by daddy's money, and certainly now by daddy's position. And he doesn't understand that justice is coming and a knocking. And he's not going to like it when it comes. He's another one with sealed indictments, absolutely. And he's not going to like it. It's not going to work out well for him. He doesn't know how to balance. He doesn't, he's all about the money. He's all about, you know, doing whatever it takes for the money. He has no sense of balance. He's not very good with the dark, light, right, wrong, correct, incorrect. That doesn't sort of apply to him. He just lives in this world where whatever he thinks is truly what he believes is reality. Bless his heart. Yeah, He thinks he's going to get off scot-free. He actually thinks that everything's going to be fine. He thinks that when Daddy leaves office, everything will go back to the way it was. They're going to swim on out of this situation. He also does not like he loves the attention, but he does not like the scrutiny. And that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He's going to be faced with some real legal issues when Daddy leaves office. So, I don't know how the Trumps are celebrating Father's Day. I can't imagine that on some level they actually really celebrate the fact that he is their father. They celebrate the position, the wealth, the status, but not him. Not him so much. And so, for all of the other pitfalls, for all of the other things about Donald Trump that are sort of sad and pathetic because he is such an incomplete human being, to that list, we apparently can add the title Shitty Father. Sorry. So, that is my reading on Ivanka, Jared, and Don Jr. in celebration of this Father's Day weekend. I'm thinking Trump's not a great father. But for the people out there, for my wonderful viewers, for my amazing subscribers, if you are celebrating Father's Day, I wish you a wonderful one. I hope you have a fabulous weekend wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Do take care, be well, and I look forward to seeing you really, really soon now. Bye-bye.